All right, welcome. What the fuck did you just say?
I was like, wait, are we just doing it? Or are you just...
Yeah, dude, we're fucking doing it.
Okay, good.
Welcome. This is part 2, or I don't know. We're doing a little bit of a different thing. If you're hopping in on the YouTube, we're now splitting up the episodes into the pre-show and then the actual meet where we're talking about the album. Man, Pat, did we have a good pre-show? We had a good.
Man, shared a lot of our opinions and a lot of our thoughts and some of what we did this weekend. And if you want to listen to it, you can anywhere you get your podcast, or you can watch it on YouTube. That was it.
Okay. So, Pat, what?
That was the long answer. Short answer, yeah.
That was the colorful one? Straight to the point? Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
But, yes, so what album are we talking about today, Pat? Because this was your pick, so let's have you set this up, because you hit us with this bad boy. So what are we talking about today, dude?
This was we, as everybody knows, last week we were talking about Billy Talent 1, or Billy Talent titled, or Billy Talent, whatever we want to call it. I don't know.
You were yesterday on Falls Count Anywhere. You were calling it Billy Talent 1, but I would, and I held my tongue because I didn't want to ruffle any feathers. But I would argue that we talked about Billy Talent.
Is that what we said?
I don't fucking know.
Well, either way, yeah. Well, we were talking about their first album. And in talking about that, it brought back a lot of memories and a lot of joy. Really, I really do enjoy listening to Billy Talent altogether. But it made me so happy to listen to him, and I was like, "Well, let's fucking." I remember, like, liking the next couple albums less than the first album.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Well, maybe something's changed. I don't know. I know I at least listened to the second album before I owned it for sure." So let me say, let's listen to Billy Talent 2.
Go
Go ahead and give ourselves a little bit of a discussion. You heard? And I will tell you, I won't give it all away, but good God, was I wrong?
What?
I was way off. I fucking love the shit out of this album.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood you because I was like, oh shit. I thought we were gonna agree on all accounts because I love this album as well.
About not liking their future albums after the fact. I was way off about saying like, oh, I don't remember. I remember not liking this as much as the first one. And I got to tell you, listening to it now, right after listening to the last one, I think I might like it more.
Well, that kind of goes into how I felt about it. My short answer to how I felt about it, it was basically like Billy Talent, the first one, not Billy Talent 1. Billy Talent, the first, was sort of their like, all right, let's just, this is our first try at writing music. Although it wasn't, they were in other bands and yada, yada, yada. But like Billy Talent 1 was like, all right, this is our first go at it. And then on, like, you listen to Billy Talent 2, it has a very similar like structure and form to the first one, but it's like they already knew what they did wrong.
Yeah.
And they already had like, you know, especially two bands like this who, you know, I'm assuming their first album didn't have like a huge budget. They kind of got pretty big off of that for their genre. And Billy Talent 2, I'm assuming had a way bigger budget and stuff. So, you know, you mix sort of, they look at the, you know, what they did wrong in writing, which, you know, wasn't a lot. It was, first one was a great album, but you just look at, all right, where could we do better in the writing department? Where could we do better in recording the album? What didn't we like? And it just sounded like they took all the any sort of, I don't want to say the problems because it was a great album, but they took any sort of spots where the first album was lacking and just tightened it up.
Yeah, I would say like the weirdest thing is the introduction to the album, Devil in a Midnight Mass, like that song in particular is so weird and different from any of the other songs that, like, you know what I mean? Like, it sounds so, I don't know how to, like, where, like, the guitar always kind of sounds really organic. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't sound like it's super processed or anything like that. To me, the guitar tone in this song in particular, and I think it's another one, Covered in Cowardice kind of does the same thing. Or what was the other one? Devil in a Midnight Mass. I think that's the only one I'm thinking of.
Well, can I say something about the guitar tone?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's just I'm glad you brought up the guitar tone because like this album like reinforced how like Billy Talent has one of the most distinct guitar tones.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's why I was saying like the first song it sounds so less unique. Like that's the thing of like the rest of it kind of feels like it gets into that traditional because it is very recognizable.
yeah, like I was thinking like if I heard like a small snippet of say like an August Burns Red song, I'd probably sit there and go, wait, is this August Burns Red? Is this Born of Osiris? Is this Parkway Drive? I can't. But like, if you gave me a 5-second snippet of Billy Talent, I'd be like, that's Billy Talent, 1,000%. Because it's such. That was, I think, a big part of what kind of made them so unique is the guitar tone specifically. What like no other band sounded like that, and I think it was so distinct that if you took that, you'd be like, people would be like, "What are you fucking doing? Trying to sound like Billy Talent over here?"
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's the rhythm section, the tone, like the tone of the band in general. I feel like is very recognizable. That like I don't think there's any band that I've ever listened to that I'm like, is this Billy Talent or no? It's like if you know, like the whole band kind of has that identity. I feel like, and there's a thing with a song in particular that like stood out to me that I was like, I think most times I would fucking hate the song just by the intro, the song Worker Bees. It goes boo doo 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 boo boo doo doo doo, and then they're going
Yeah.
worker, and I'm ugh, like what the fuck is this? And then they start the song, and I'm like, that's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're one of those bands that like I trust them, but they I remember I think what probably was manifested into like distaste in the past has
Yeah.
definitely now it's just me going like yeah I don't really prefer that, or it's me seeing them changing into another band, but it's still not enough on this. It's that perfect mix uh of professional production as well as like their personal energy. Like they still have that personal second band, the second album is always really tough just because the first one they've been able to polish it so well. It seems like they probably had a lot of these already written. I'm thinking they probably had 2 albums already ready to go because that it's so similar to the first one, but it just has so it sounds like they've been touring like a fucking maniacs. You know what I mean? It sounds like they've got like some money behind their production like big time now. So like I don't know if any of those things. I would have to assume that the more popular they got, the more was put into their records or whatever, or just even just more reps in general. If they're performing more, they're going to get better as a band. So either way, this album is like in my opinion, the perfect uh, representation of them, their personal hard work, and all of the benefits of getting like production behind you, whether it
Yeah.
be distribution or anything like that. Just having somebody help get fucking eyes on you and just get more people because it would suck if this band never got big. You know what I mean? It would really suck if this band never got recognized or signed or anything like that. It would be a complete fucking waste. I know there's other bands like this, not a ton. That's not saying like Billy Talent, but bands in the same position where they were probably immensely popular or immensely talented, but just not that popular. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. I was just looking up their Wikipedia because what you said about like having that body of work, they probably had 2 albums worth when they put out Billy Talent. There's a good chance that that's true because they were you know about how they were a band called, what was it, Pez, I think.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they were a band called Pez before they were Billy Talent, and they formed that in '93. And
Wow.
then so they've been together since like '93. Then they turned into Billy Talent in '99, and they didn't put out their first album until 2002. And I know from me, you may have had a similar experience too with the bands you've been in. And I know like when I was doing Tune in Tokyo, when we put out like our when we put out our one EP, like we still had a shit ton of other songs to release. So that may be true with them, and why all these songs sound so like there's like a very consistent theme from record to record. Like if you told me 1 and 2 were like a double disc album release, I
Yeah.
could definitely believe that.
Especially after, like I said, my first experience with the first album was with the demo version of it. So I got the lower quality, like almost garage bandy sound of the same album. It's the same one, but it's just a little bit. And I to me, I if you have a chance, like check that out, because it's different. It's so weird because the re-recording or the reproduction of that same album and this album, I think you're right, would totally work as a double disc, because that would be a thing where they're not exactly the same, but if you do year 1 or year 2 or 1 and 2, like they basically actually, and you're right, I did double check. It was just Billy Talent and then 2 and then 3. So they did not call the first one 1, but it was the first one. The first album, when they got the final production or the final mix or whatever, and then this one are just different enough that you would have to probably say 1 and 2, but they would work in the same thing, no problem. Because it's the next one. It's 3. I think that's the one that I'm like, downski.
Maybe, because definitely, I remember they definitely sort of fell off in popularity after 2. I remember 2 was when they were definitely like the most mainstream. I remember I talked about in the last one, their song like Red Flag. I remember that was in a bunch of shit. For me specifically, I remember it in the the one SSX video game. This was number 2 was definitely their most popular album. You were talking earlier about like the songwriting. How many times you were saying like the one, what was it, Worker Bees, I think was the song?
Yeah, I hate that.
But then it has the part where you're like, all right, I'm listening.
Yeah, well, there's like fuck, what was the other one? God damn it, I can't remember which one it is, but there's another one that's like that has that same. It's just kind of corny. I don't know. It just makes me cringe. Like if I had to think about like you know what I mean? Like I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's like kind of the thing of like, even if people love that song, I would judge them. If I was in that band and somebody said Worker Bees is my favorite song, I would be like, it's a good song. It's all right, but like, really, you don't like pins and needles? You know what I mean? You don't like something that has a little bit of, what was it? What's the Fallen Leaves is fucking an epic. Fallen Leaves, I don't understand why that's not like a hit.
Yeah, because that one like is the most. It almost like reinforces what like what's good about their songwriting, where it's like they have all these characteristics that kind of set them out of the pop genre, but if you really listen, you're like, they know how to write pop songs. Like
yeah, that's a great thing. Yeah, they're pop songs. That's cool.
like they know their way around a fucking catchy hook, dude. Like
maybe that's the thing with Worker Bees that I don't like, is the fact that it's like, they started out and it sounds kind of like a cheesy, weird, like poppy song.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a really good point. I apologize. I had to interrupt you to say that, but
nah, you're good. You're good.
But yes, Worker Bees or like pop songs, they're able to write them. You know.
No, I'm laughing at a comment in the chat. Saint Savagas goes, "Hey, I'm walking here." That's fun. That's a fun time.
It was a good time.
The one song that stuck out to me, like "Devil in the Midnight Mass," that was a great representation of their like songwriting ability, where you have like this song where, you know, it's cooking along and you're like, all right, I'm having fun, and then there'll just be this change in the song where you're you like in the middle of doing something and you just pop your head up and you go, what the fuck? it just turns into another gear. It's their songwriting on these albums is very, and it's like, you know what's funny too? It's like very formulaic to their writing style, but it's like a formula that doesn't get old. You kind of like look at all the stuff and you're like, this all follows a very, very, very specific formula. And whenever someone says that, you think that shit's gonna get tiresome very quickly. And they figure out a way that makes you still engaged and still interested, song to song.
Dude, can I tell you with full transparency, I regret not dancing to the song "Surrender."
What?
Like
What do you
that,
mean?
the song "Surrender" off this album, like it's one of those things that, like, as far as pop songs, like that's a song I feel like could have been on the radio. I don't know if were they on the radio at all? Like popular or like in because like that's the thing, like the radio is just a good
Well, so
a,
this album came out. This album came out in '06,
yeah.
and definitely like '06 was sort of when like rock was falling out of the mainstream. So there was a definite, this was, because I remember this was around the same time that like bands like Taking Back Sunday were like gigantic. Like they would be doing huge crowds, in fucking not arenas, but like big theaters, or like they'd be pulling big crowds at festivals and stuff like that. So I'm sure with the popularity of some of these songs, I'm sure that they were getting radio play and shit like that.
Probably, at least in Canada. I know Canada has a weird thing where they're like they love having, they want to put Canadian, they have like a Canadian artist only like rule.
Well, so it looks like, yeah, no, they do. Like the Canadian government has a thing where they specifically will promote Canadian arts like aggressively.
Yeah.
Well, their Wikipedia says that this album, it was #1 in Canada, #1 in Germany, and then 134 on the in the US, but it was like the Billboard Top 200. So for a band like this, for like a poppy emo band in '06, that's not bad. You know what I mean? That's not bad at all.
So yeah, aside from like, I guess that's that. Maybe they just, I don't know, man. Like that, to me, this music is so accessible, and it's so like it's so unique, but it's also not like. I guess the vocals or the lyric, like you said, like sometimes you can like go like, where the fuck is this song going, kind of thing. I think I know what you're talking about in that song in particular when he goes whisper whisper.
Oh, I'm more. That's hilarious. I more meant in a positive way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where they like just turn it up another notch, and it just has this extra level of fucking energy to it. Because that's the big thing for me that I feed off of when I listen to this stuff. Because this music, the like Billy Talent's songs are so like full of energy to them, even with like. Even like, and they keep it going, man. Like they keep it up with that whole I ate lunch in the bathroom energy. And but like with the energy that they provide you in these songs, they could be saying the saddest shit in the world. It's similar to like a fucking, of all bands, Real Big Fish song structure. You're listening to these like sad lyrics, but like but the music is so like upbeat and kicks ass, like you're fucking jumping around dancing. And I'm not going to say Billy Talent music is happy per se, but it
is. It's poppy emo. I think you're right. Like it's a pop emo rock band.
But I wouldn't call their music happy. I would call their music catchy. It like the rhythms and the melodies get stuck in you, and they're like they're I said it on the last episode. The melodies are just really easy to remember. It's really easy. Like, you ever do this? Like you play the guitar. You ever you remember the melody of a song, but then you look up the guitar part and you just think the guitar part's going to be the melody, and it's like a little bit different because a lot of the melody was like in the lyrics and shit. I feel like Billy Talent guitar parts from a rhythmic standpoint, if you just heard the songs, are very easy to learn. Maybe from a technical standpoint, they may not be as easy, but like the rhythm is probably not that hard to get.
And I'll say this: I am when they do get to that point in Devil in the Midnight Mass. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying that can be abrasive to some people. That some people can maybe be okay with it, but maybe they don't necessarily love the vocals or they don't love or whatever it may be. That might be their preference, but like I still feel like this band could have been uh it's man to me it's really the exposure. It's really that's literally all it comes down to. And I only say this in the sense that I'm sure that they were happy with the success that they had as a band and shit like that, but that kind of stuff, like when you take big swings like that, you are definitely going to find an audience, but you're definitely going to alienate some people. So if you have that kind of thing that we may fuck with, there's going to be some people. But even still, with those people, I don't see why this particular album. I don't know if they have. I didn't actually watch any music videos of this. Didn't you say there was music videos for these
Oh yeah, they got like they got a million music videos. I meant to do that, but I forgot.
One. I haven't seen one goddamn one.
They're good. They're fun. They got a lot of that fucking energy we talked about, dude.
Do they actually have? Is there a scene where they're actually eating lunch alone in the bathroom?
There might be one or two. It's actually literally every music video is them just eating lunch with no one fucking around them.
These guys love lunch. If anything, lunch is actually the most important meal of the day. A lot of people think it's breakfast, but you can skip that shit.
Oh, I love a good lunch. I really wish we lived in that time where it was just socially acceptable to like take a 2-hour lunch and have 5 beers. You want to move to Spain? You want to move to Spain and just have 2-hour beer lunches?
Yeah, and not actually work, but just do that. Just have 2-hour lunches.
That's always my favorite thing when people will like argue about living in other countries and they'll be like, Spain, they have long lunches. They don't eat dinner till 9 p.m. And you're like, you gotta give me more, dude. You gotta give me more.
France, they give their all the country that they all get 6 months vacation.
Yeah, and if you're a pedophile, you can just vibe out there.
You always have a negative to it.
No, I just love to come at France and be like, yo, we know Roman's there, dude. Give him back. You know what he did.
Come on.
Come on, France. There's a lot of good things about you, France, but yo, give up Roman Polanski, dude. What are you doing over there?
You fucking guys, what's going on with you?
Come on, dude. Roman Polanski, cuties, you guys are fucking up over there.
You just have to stop. Whatever you're doing, you have to stop
it. Saint had another comment. Every time after McDonald's, I can fart in Beethoven's Symphony No. 9. Now that's a talent.
That is talent. Yeah.
I believe him. I think he does that.
I've only been able to fart. I can only mimic different sounds. Like, I just kind of either push my cheeks together to get a nice compression one, or maybe if you just wave them out and you just one of these.
Oh, if you spread them and still have like the power behind it, you can get some good bass on it.
Oh yeah, one of those. Yeah, those. Yeah.
I had a pretty bad one. Yes, I had a pretty bad one yesterday.
Like bad meaning good, or
it was good. It was good for me, not the bartender at this place I was performing at. No, dude, because I was in the green room. And I was by myself. I ripped a mighty one, and then it was like 10 minutes went by, and then the bartender went back to go grab some. She just comes back. She goes, "Who the fuck farted?" I was like, "It's still there." I was like, "Well, I was the only one sitting there," and I was like, "I don't know. I think he just left." And we had a fun joke about it where it was obviously I farted, but I never admitted to it.
That's nice. I'll always approve of fart. I mean, guys, come on. I'll take credit for other people's farts. You blame your fart for me, I don't care.
I'll also shout out Hawaiian in the chat. What's up, brother? What's up? All right, Pat. This has been a good fucking episode. But at the end of every episode, we gotta ask the question.
I have to ask you.
Yeah.
Next week, buddy.
Well, and I want to know what about. Remember, you hit me up and you had some top 5 listy ideas.
Oh yeah.
I think it's about time we get back into top 5 lists.
We have we have at least two options. One of them has a guest. Do you want the guest or the guest list one?
Guest? Wait. Is he a am I wait. What?
I said there's two lists that we could do. One of them has the possibility of a guest, and the other one doesn't.
Doesn't. Well, we should do a contingency plan in case we don't get that guest.
Okay, then we can do either one.
Well, I had an idea for a top 5 list.
Okay.
I was
I'm
gonna
down
say,
for that.
and Billy Talent made me think about it. Eating your lunch alone, eating your lunch alone in the bathroom made me think about it. I'm gonna do top 5 songs that give you all the feels.
Ooh, top 5 song feels.
Yes,
I like
top 5 song feels. Top 5 songs that give you all the feels.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, guys and gals, everyone in between. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for listening. If you missed the pre-show, go check that out. It was a good goddamn time. There we go. Thanks, buddy. Did you fart?
I have one loaded up. You want it?
It sounded like you did.
Oh, man, I'm farting into a pillow. It's like a It's like a silencer. I'm a little fart assassin.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, Pat. This ruled. Guys, gals, thank you for hanging out. We love you. Bye-bye. Wait, and stop.